Was your mind blown?
Yes. I didn't tell anybody for several years because I was afraid they would think I was crazy.
Wow. And you were at the very beginning of the New Thought movement, weren't you?
No, the New Thought movement really is much older than people give it credit for being. The more recent times when unity and religious science were founded, the New Thought get popular. But it was known from even before Jesus.
Before Jesus?
Yeah.
Do you pray to Jesus?
No.
Do you pray to God?
I pray to myself.
Pray to yourself?
My beliefs are that part of me inside that I believe when you hear people say, well, God is within you.
Yes.
I believe that God is in every cell of my body. And if I keep my words positive, I have good things happen. If I don't keep my words and I get suspicious about the news and people who say doomsday, then I see negative things happen, and it reflects in my life. So I make sure that I don't believe things like that I can listen to it and I can say, that's not my truth. That's not me. It used to keep me really, really busy. Now it's just,
Let's talk about time relative to manifesting money. Do you have any interesting stories or synopsis of what you've seen over the years?
I've seen people that manifested very, very quickly, within the same hour that they had asked for something, that somebody would walk up and just hand them whatever it was that they wanted. It's easier to manifest things other than money because we have a way of outlining how money is going to come to us. We think it's got to be a pay raise or it has to be something else, or donation from somebody. But when we ask for a thing, like one day I said, I need a loaf of bread. My children are coming home. I don't have the car home, so, oh dear. And my neighbor came in and she says, Ann, you remember last week I borrowed the bread from you and I forgot to return it, and handed me a loaf of bread.
That's a demonstration.
Yes.
So you raised 5 children with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Was it difficult to share metaphysics with your husband and your children, or did they receive it well and quickly?
Well, my husband, he went to church because he was Catherine's assistant for a while, platform assistant for a while. I don't think he ever really believed it, but he was in a good position and he sort of faked it. But he never did get really, really positive to deliberately make things work. My children would always come to me and ask me for whatever it was they wanted. And I'd say, well, let's sit down together and we'll do a visualization. And that worked. I wouldn't do it for them. I would help them with it.
What do you think of vision boards where you put pictures of the things that you want and connect with?
They work too.
I think they're effective.
In fact, Catherine would tell a story that when she was here in San Antonio, she wanted to join a particular country club, and she made a picture board. She called them treasure maps, and had them at this place. She went out and took a picture of the club, and took a picture of them walking into the house, into the building, and put it on her wall. She looked at it for several days until she started getting tired of it. And then she put it under her bed. She had on a huge poster board. About 2 or 3 weeks later, her husband was in a hardware store. This is a true story. Was in a hardware store, and he was a talker, Southern talker, that he would just stand around and talk to anybody and everybody and be friendly. And a man that worked in the store was in there, and he said, you know, Catherine's got it in her head. She wants to join the club. And he said, I don't want to do something like that. I'll have to be taking her out there all the time and getting dressed up. And the man said, well, how much does she want to be in it? And he said, well, a whole lot, but I don't. And he says, well, let me know if you really want to be in it. And the man said, what can you do about it? Yeah, you're going to get me in there. The man said, yeah, I'm chairman of the board.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she became a member?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. See, I love those stories because those stories are the material of demonstration and the things that sometimes people don't talk about, but they should talk about them.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been speaking with, learning from, and listening to Ann Kunath, the ordained minister, Doctor of Divinity, of Divine Science, a published author, lecturer, and gifted speaker. She is going to come back and join us again. We thank you so much for being a guest on It's Rainmaking Time. Thank you so much for your time. And what a blessing you are.
Oh, thank you so much. I have enjoyed it.
It's great to laugh with you, and it's great to hear these wonderful stories.